What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome to Hyrule Warriors Legends. Well, the Japanese demo of Hyrule Warriors Legends at least. So this demo was released alongside the most recent issue of CoroCoro, which is a huge gaming publication over in Japan. And in the most recent issue they included a QR code that was exclusive to them, and if you scan that with a Japanese 3DS it would take you to an exclusive eShop page where you can download the demo. So for those of you guys with a Japanese 3DS like myself, I will include that QR code in the description. That way you can scan that and try out the game for yourself. Now I do want to make mention that you cannot scan this code with a European or North American 3DS. It just will not work. I can't confirm this, but from the way that it was translated, it did seem like this demo may become available to all regions at some point. So until then, we're just going to take a look at this version. But do keep an eye out for this demo in your region, should Nintendo choose to release it in the future. Now I do want to mention that I'm playing this on an original 3DS and not a new 3DS, only because I don't currently own a new 3DS with capture capabilities. So for this video, keep in mind that the game is not performing on the newest and best hardware. This also is not the first time I've played through this demo either. This is like my second run through, and obviously I did do a full playthrough on the Wii U version back when that was released. So if you are interested in sort of comparing the two, you can find those videos on my channel as well. So Hyrule Warriors was basically an exclusive Wii U game that I think a lot of people wanted to play, but just like didn't own a Wii U at the time or didn't want to purchase one just for one game, and I think that's sort of how this game sort of came to be. It's actually quite impressive that they managed to make a pretty faithful port for the 3DS. Now clearly the visuals have been sort of downgraded a lot, and the amount of enemies on screen has been reduced, but it still retains like the basic feel of the game. I will say this though, if you are planning on picking up this game just because you don't have a Wii U or something like that, I would highly recommend playing this on a new 3DS. This game is far more optimized on the new 3DS and runs much better. Now that's not to say it's not playable on the old 3DS, however, you will notice some performance dips here and there. Again, nothing game breaking or like makes the game unplayable, it's just kind of like an inconvenience. On the new 3DS, however, the game runs much better and those dips are less noticeable or just like completely non-existent. The Wii U version is still the superior version by far in my opinion, but for a portable version, I would say playing this on a new 3DS is good enough to experience the game, at least for on the go. So basically for this video, I just want to talk about the differences and compare the two games as well as giving you guys my thoughts on them. So first and foremost, the controls in the 3DS, they work quite well to be honest. And again, I'm using an original 3DS, so I do not have access to the extra circle knob, which I believe can be used to control the camera in this game. But even without that, like, I don't really have any issues getting around or changing the camera, which is definitely a really good thing. Now, one minor complaint I do have is the control scheme itself is different than the one on the Wii U. Now, I don't think that's the fault of the game. I think that's mainly due to the fact that I can't read Japanese, and I chose the wrong control scheme when booting up the game because I know the Wii U version had two different control schemes, like the standard Dynasty Warriors control scheme and a more Zelda-oriented control scheme, and the Zelda control scheme is what I'm used to playing on, so I'm assuming the 3DS version has retained those options, and it's my fault for not choosing the correct one, so I'm not going to knock the game for that because that might actually be my fault entirely. Now, a few things I do want to mention is that all the cutscenes are directly lifted from the Wii U version and just sort of converted down to play on the 3DS, which isn't a bad thing at all, but I figured I would point it out because you can see a lot more detail in the cutscenes that aren't actually present on the 3DS version of the game. But they do look nice and they play nice, so really, no complaints from me. Now, the 3DS version does include some exclusive content. Unfortunately, none of that is really revealed in this demo, so I can't really tell you if, like the newer cutscenes use the 3DS engine or they use the Wii U engine, but from the Link Gold trailer they released like a while ago, I'm assuming they made all the trailers using the Wii U engine and just sort of converted it down because the Link Gold trailer looked really good, and I don't think that they could have done that using the 3DS hardware. Now, another thing I want to mention is the sound. Now, the sound is very close to what you would actually get on a Wii U. However, I do believe it's been slightly more compressed, and that does make sense. Like, they probably did that to save space on the cart and make sure the game isn't, like, absurdly large. So, not really a complaint. Like, these are things you should sort of expect going into this because there's such a large gap between the hardware of the Wii U and the hardware of the 3DS, so it's really just a miracle they got this port even working to me, and it seems like they really only cut or changed things that were absolutely necessary and kept everything else that they could, which is only going to help this game in the long run, I believe. So honestly, from what I've played, which isn't a whole lot because the demo is only like one half of the very first mission, it's impressive. So like, if the rest of this game can follow suit with this example, I'd have no problem recommending this to people who do not own a Wii U. However, if you do own a Wii U, I would highly recommend that you pick up the Wii U version and the 3DS version. That way you can sort of like unlock all the exclusive content like the Wind Waker characters, Linkle, and all that on the Wii U version, so you can like enjoy those on there as well. So speaking of added content, again, we don't really get to see any of the big stuff in this demo, but one change we do get to try out is the swapping of characters, which right now we can't really do, but I think as soon as we get the bombs, we can swap over to Zelda, so we'll probably do that. And that actually does change the game a lot from the Wii U version because you can swap characters, and sometimes the character that you swap to is in a spot where you can't currently go to with like the other character. So it actually gives you a whole lot of variety in how like you can play the missions, because in the Wii U version you were sort of stuck with like the character that you chose, and you really can only play the mission one way after you choose that character. But now with the ability to swap like in the middle of the level, that opens up a whole lot of possibilities, and I think that this feature alone is something that the game really needed to help keep it interesting. Like, I will admit, this game can get a bit repetitive, and that's just based on like my experience playing the Wii U version. So having this ability to swap into a different character and get like a fresh perspective on how like you can play the mission should hopefully alleviate that problem just a little bit, and I cannot wait to try that out more when the full game does actually come out. So anyways, we did just get the bombs, so we should be able to swap over to Zelda in just a few moments here if memory does serve me well. Like I said, I did play this before on my new 3DS, and then just like put the demo on my original 3DS, that way I could record this video. So any second now, there we go, now we can play as Zelda. Also, one thing I really don't like about the 3DS version, and I'm not sure if this did exist on the Wii U version, I don't think it did, but there are tutorials that just like pop up and sort of interrupt the gameplay. Like, I vaguely remember something like that on the Wii U version, but I don't think it was as intrusive. I could be wrong though, so feel free to correct me in the comments. Again, either way, I just don't like that tutorials can pop up and interrupt the gameplay regardless of what game that you're playing. So now that we are playing as Zelda, this mission has changed just a little bit. Like, Link is now being controlled by the computer and is making his way towards us. Now, on the Wii U version, you'd be playing as Link and you would have to like blow up some rocks, enter a keep, take it over, and then you could help out Zelda. Since we're already controlling Zelda though, we can sort of like go backwards through this mission just a little bit, like head into this keep a little bit early, take it over, and then finally blow up the rocks to let Link in. And as far as I'm aware, the Link AI will not blow up the rocks on his own. At least he hasn't done that in the times that I've played through this demo on my own. So there might be some stuff that like you need to do on your own that the AI just like isn't programmed to do. So keep that in mind. Now, one thing I am curious about is how this game will handle the protections or escort missions, because on the Wii U version, I think there were like quite a few mission objectives where you'd have to protect like certain characters while they walk somewhere specific on the map to do something. But if this game allows you to simply just control them, it would certainly make those missions a whole heck of a lot easier. Although I imagine the game will just like disable the swapping mechanic for those characters in those missions or during that specific point in the level. That way, you know, you still have to actually work and like escort those characters to where they need to go without making the game like incredibly easy. Other than that though, I really don't have a whole lot to say. Like, it's exactly what you would expect from a 3DS port of Hyrule Warriors. So we're just going to quickly go through the rest of the demo, which shouldn't take us too long. Like, it's only one half or like 3/4 of the first mission anyway, so we're pretty close to being done with it. That being said, while we're going through the rest of the demo, I do want to sort of like spitball some ideas back off of you guys. So, as you guys should probably know, this game does release in Japan in just a couple of days actually. So when it does release, obviously I will be able to show off footage of the full game, but I think I'm going to limit myself to really only the newer content because I don't really see any reason to go back and do like a full playthrough, especially in Japanese, since I know like a majority of my viewers probably don't speak Japanese. Like my demographic is mainly from the United States and like people in Europe, so I highly doubt I have a huge like fan base that speaks Japanese and English. But I think what I'm going to do when the Japanese version comes out is just focus on all like the new content and stuff like that, and then when it does release later, I believe in March in North America, I'll go back again, maybe even do a full LP. I'm not really sure if I need to, but I'll probably go back again, at least do all the new content in English. That way you guys can sort of understand the story better and stuff like that, because I know for myself personally, I am interested in like all the changes and the new story stuff. So I'll definitely want to go back and see all that in English, and then of course I'll make videos of that when it does come out. Again, not sure if I'll do like a full LP of the 3DS version because I don't really think I need to. Like, this game released on the Wii U in November of 2014, I want to say, so it's not like my original LP isn't even like 2 years old at this point, so I really don't think I need to go back and like sort of remake that. Plus, the changes to like the missions, as far as I can tell, are pretty minimal. So even if you are playing the 3DS version, you should still be able to use like the Wii U Let's Play as sort of a guide if you do need some help and are confused as what to do in this game. So I really don't see like a reason to go back and LP the full version of this game. But again, if you guys want me to, I may consider it. Depends on like what else I'm doing at the time though, because I mean, that's all the way in March. Like, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in March, so we'll have to figure out what we can do when the time comes. Actually, now that I think about it, I may be able to show off the exclusive Wii U content when this game does come out in Japanese as well, because I do own a Japanese Wii U, so I'd have to, like, download or import a Japanese version of Hyrule Warriors on my Wii U, and then I'd be able to hopefully transfer the content from my Japanese 3DS to my Japanese Wii U. But I'm not really sure how you go about doing that, because I remember a long time ago, I read like a news article that said the physical versions of Hyrule Warriors Legends will come with like a code printed on the box, and then you can use that code and enter it on the Wii U, and that would sort of like unlock the exclusive content for the Wii U version. But since I'm more than likely going to buy this game digitally on my Japanese 3DS, I'm not really sure how I would go about like entering in that code, unless it's like somewhere included in like the e-manual or something like that. Not really too sure. Also, I'd probably have to like download Hyrule Warriors, like the Japanese version, on my Japanese Wii U, because I really don't want to like go and import a physical version if I don't need to, because importing's expensive and it takes a really, really long time. Like, that's one thing that I really do love about the eShop, is that as long as you have like the correct region console and you can connect to the internet, you can just like download straight from that region's eShop, and you do not need to like spend the extra money to import or wait like 3 weeks for a package to get here from Japan. So yeah, it's pretty convenient just to like download it from the eShop and be done with it. But again, not making any promises. Like, if I can figure it out, great, then I'll show it off. If not, then I'll just wait until like it releases in English sometime in March, because here's the thing, like, I really do enjoy Hyrule Warriors. It definitely is one of my favorite Wii U games. I think it's kind of underrated, to be honest, but it's a shame that I really haven't gotten to play it as much as I wanted to, just because I'm always busy like playing other games and stuff like that. Like, I did not even have a chance to like finish up all of Adventure Mode yet, and I totally did not mean to do that, by the way. Like, I thought for whatever reason you needed to be linked to activate that circle, but I think we actually need all the characters to go over there in order to sort of summon the Great Fairy. So I'll just like quickly take care of this guy with Impa and then make my way over there. But as I was saying, yeah, I really do love this game, so I am excited to be able to show off like more content and make more videos about it, because it's something I enjoy making, and I really do hope it's something that like you guys enjoy watching, because it definitely is an interesting game. And even though like it is a spin-off and it's not really canonical, I definitely think it's like a great addition to the Zelda series and a fun change from what we're actually used to. Anyways, though, let's run Impa all the way over to the Great Fairy's fountain. That way, hopefully, we can summon the Great Fairy and finish up this demo, because I'm not really sure why we couldn't summon it before. Like, there might have been something, like, plot-wise that sort of needed to take place that I was just, like, sort of forgetting about, because it's been quite a while since I've actually played through the first mission normally. So, yeah, I bet you that's sort of what needed to take place. And now, yeah, it looks like we can sort of summon the Great Fairy. So, hello, Great Fairy, please come forth and do whatever it is that you do. I think it's like dropping a giant bomb on all these guys or something, isn't it? Let's find out together, guys. Yeah, it's kind of cool that they use, like, the cutscenes from the Wii U version, just because I guess it sort of, like, makes more sense for them to do it that way instead of, like, remaking all the cutscenes. And there's my boy. Look at that Goron, dude. He's so happy. I love that guy. Alright, there we go. Giant fairy bomb. And that should wipe out a majority of the troops on the field and make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier now. Hooray! Sweet. Not bad at all. Alright, might as well finish this thing off as Link, because there's really not a whole lot left, actually. Like, really, we only have to, like, trigger one more major event inside, like, the story of this particular mission, and then we'll be done. So, yeah, in fact, I don't even think we'll really get to fight anything, because the mission's just sort of going to end in a couple of moments here. It's kind of abrupt, honestly, because it ends at like the moment you think is going to be the most hype. Like, here we go, the boss for this chapter, King Dodongo. He shows up and it's like, oh yeah, man, I get to fight King Dodongo. But sadly, yeah, guess what? That's really not gonna happen, because that's where the demo ends, my friend. To be continued in the full version. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.